security officer for the first time. Upon staying 6 months, I changed my training to a clerk. So as the time I retired being a clerk class 1, and I retired while at the defense headquarters.
He is among the first officers in the newly commissioned Laikipia Air Base, where he was also a drill instructor.
I was an instructor. This drill, ikutembea tu na mambo ingine, those whom I trade, even they have gone beyond me. I was working at T3 until when we, Air Force, started a new unit, African-based name, started by Africans. Kenya Air Force Nanyuki. I was among the first people who went to start Nanyuki.
Over the years, he rose to the rank of chief clerk.
I was a chief clerk, flying wing. After some time, I was changed to chief clerk, take wing. From take wing, chief clerk is when I was posted to defense headquarters as a control officer. Strategic plans and policy, which was headed by Major General Gichani.
His first unit was the only Air Force base in the country when soldiers donned the famous short popularly known as Kaptula.
Major General Gichuru took over from the Mzungu is when he started introduced. After we complained, it was very cold at night, so you cannot spend all the night with a short. So when we complained, they introduced a long trouser. It was a khaki by the time.
He is also among soldiers to witness the transition of colonial military commanders to Kenyan commanders.
When I joined, the Air Force commander was Mzungu, Group Captain Rothwell. He handed over the first Air Force commander, who was an African, Major General Gichuru. He's the first African Air Force commander.
Mbaka acknowledges the positive changes in the military post-colonial era on leadership and equipment.
If 10 Wazungus go back to the Royal Air Force, they recruit other Africans to protect their places. The salaries improved, and they improved after we ourselves, we retired as of now. Is we complain the money we get is not enough. We could not maintain our families here too. As now, those who are in service, they are very okay.
He urges the military to relook at the veterans' wages.
As you are our mouthpiece, we request you say they do something. The members, when they do any addition on any increment, pay increment, even they increase our pension. You cannot be compared with somebody who is retiring of the same rank I earned when I retired.
He nostalgically remembers the 1982 during the botched Air Force coup, noting the rise in military takeovers in the continent are management issues.
I was on leave when that episode happened. I was here where we are today. I wonder what happened. I traveled all the way to my base. So many barriers on the way, and about 10 barriers. From here to Meru was a problem. So, because we are clean, we continued. I regret what happened.
He has a message for young officers serving the country, adding that they should maintain discipline in the force. Since his retirement, he has participated in numerous community-based projects when he was appointed as the chair of Nithi Water Company and as an official of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
I've served as a chairman in Wasco for 3 years. I saw they have ring a line from the town to a distance of 20 kilometers. I was taken by community. I tried to pursue the CDF office, and we got money to revive that dispensary.
He says he has also amassed numerous accolades during his service and after.
I've been recognized for the work I've done. In 2019, I was nominated as Suja. Also, I've been given of what I've done well in the military. All those, the training and the achievement I've made, I was given the end of state commendation.
A father of 6, Mbaka says 2 of his children joined the force.
I've got a family of 6. 1 daughter joined the Air Force, has retired. I've got a son who joined the Army with the transport. And some have already retired after nearly completing it. term, 9 years you are supposed to.
He now enjoys reading to unwind when he is not tending to his farm or his animals.
He's reading novels and newspapers to keep updated. My friend, if you come home and stay without reading even newspaper, even writing your name, you may forget.
In his parting shot, he urges Kenyans to maintain peace that the country has enjoyed over the years.
Where there is no peace, you cannot forge ahead. You lag behind.
For Military Tales, I'm Njue.
Tuesday, January the 9th, 2024, it is. Good morning and welcome. This is the first edition of News Check in the year 2024. I hope you have started a fruitful year. And a lot has been happening in the country and we'll be looking at that. But I believe what is on everybody's lips is matters education, going back to school, KCSE as well. So that is something that we will be keen to look at, but that's not only what is happening. The head of state is leading a delegation in regards to affordable housing in Eldoret. We will be crossing over there as soon as the head of state commissions that project. And of course, reactions because of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. And by the way, it is the last. Now we are fully on CBC. Of course, the transition sometimes always a challenge, but this time round, as with any KCSE, a number of things come out in terms of cheating, in terms of the new one, actually, which has been trending in the morning in regards to digital results. So you've received results and then you find yourself again, you get different results. Well, of course, we will be discussing that as well. And of course, joining me on set right now is Oscar Omondi. Oscar Omondi is a governance and leadership expert, and he is also a lecturer in one of the universities we have here in the country. And Oscar, thank you indeed so much for making time for us.
Thank you very much, Troy.
And reactions right now, there are some people, there are parents who are quite distressed, just like we witnessed in the KCPE, in terms of how results are. We really need to streamline that aspect, because as early as this morning, some parents are complaining in regards of how they are receiving their kids' results. This is something that needs to be streamlined, because we witnessed the same thing with KCPE a couple of months ago as well.
Yeah, it zeroes down to the anxiety that examination brings to our people. You know, examination is like a ritual, right?
Yeah.
It's a ritual that is performed just like you perform circumcision rituals. So examinations have been those type of rituals in the country, and the results of examinations become a do or die thing. So when people are waiting, because they say education is the only way, the society has it, that the only way to get success is if you get an education. So education and the process of education and the process of getting to that is like an initiation process. It's like that day for circumcision, things are big and parents are waiting here, or a wedding day. Imagine when you were supposed to do a wedding day and everything flops up at the 11th hour. So the anxiety of this kids, and you know, we've had situations where students even commit suicide because of results of education.
Some are depression.
People
we
go
had
into
a case
depression
that the
because
parent
of this
says that
thing.
my kid is now depressed because of the results.
So when we are dealing with such psychological things that can impact into the brains of these young people, psychologically, we must be very, very careful of how we handle them. It has to be handled with a lot of care. The way the Minister of Education has handled KCPE, and now they have handled KCSE, the least I expected in handling of KCSE were the mistakes that were done when the releasing of when the minister was releasing KCP was supposed to be different. But it's not any different. It is chaos. It is disorder again for the second time of how KCSE has been handled, the receiving of the results of this year KCSE papers. Secondly, apart from that, what have we gotten into them? You know, we've gotten 50,000 E's. Yeah, when I was in school, we never got people who get D minuses. The least results was a D plane and D pluses. But we never got even people who got B minuses. It was rare. But this time, we've got 48,000 E's.
Close to 50,000.
Close to 50,000.
So it's a good thing, actually, we faced up the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education because it was more on examination-based as opposed to what we now having.
Yes, it was exam-oriented. And there's the regalia of, even at university level, I've always talked about abandoning the regalia of people putting on these gowns, and it's all celebration about graduation ceremonies and all this. You see, the problem is that when it becomes so much exam-oriented, so that means that failure in exams is failure in life, which is not the reality. That people who fail exams ends up, in fact, the people who do well in life are people who are moderate students. The very best cream, the A students, at the end of the day, they don't really do well. Majority of them don't do well because they are academic oriented, and academic is not everything. So facing out 844 because 844 was also about the apex. You have to go to the apex. You have to go to you have to get a degree to experience good life. That was the narrative that was there. But in reality, that was not the case.
And I'm picking on mine in regards to how they have been releasing the exams, because they have released the exam just as the education cycle is starting again. A little bit bundled up, if you ask me. But of course, there are mixed reactions in regards to how people have perceived, or even parents have perceived, the results of their kids as we continue to check on how the celebrations are continuing in various parts of the country. I don't know whether that feed is all right. We will be crossing over to check just how students are reacting to that in regards to. But again, the KCSE just released the same day that we are expecting for schools to reopen. A little bit cluttered.
Yes, I think for this time, I think the ministry under the new regime has not gotten its act together, because up to, I think, 2 days down the line, the CES Education was saying that they might use the USSD, where you have your phone and you send some message to a number and you get the results. And then later they changed that, no, we are going to use the portal.
Yeah.
Get me right. This type of anxiety shows that there's something amiss. I don't know if it is sabotage or something like that. Yeah, but it has been a bit cluttered when schools have to be open, then exams have to be released. So I don't know, like principals in secondary schools, they're dealing with the students who left, who are coming to pick their results, and they're dealing with Form 1s at the same time. So it is chaos in those schools. Again,
still on the cluttering, and looking at what is happening right now, we are all eyes on KCSE, and we still have the going back to school. And talking about cluttering, look at how the KCSE and going back to school and the harsh economic times. All these things are all cluttered. Do you believe that maybe we should have a conversation on that? Because a number of parents have said, kindly, when we bring our pupils, let them learn. We're going to look for money. We have a lot of things that we have been working on.
Again, we go back to data. According to the data that we have, is that 3,860 students who registered for KCSE didn't turn out to sit for them. It's a big number, right?
Yeah.
And why? Probably because of harsh economic times. And the harsh economic times comes with what? With failed families, with unexpected pregnancies, with people dropping out into criminality. So that one can show the reason why over almost 4,000 students who registered for secondary schools were not able to come to sit for those examinations.
Yes.
Again, the question is, we have 100%. The government is implementing what we call the 100% transition to secondary school. The question is, are we able to do a comparative analysis to check if with harsh economic times, what is the impact of the 100% transition to secondary school? Because I don't think if it can be 100%. But if it is not 100%, what is the percentage? We need that type of data to know that the policy of 100%, because when we budget for 100% transition to secondary schools. But with harsh economic times, are we able to achieve the 100% transition policy of government? That people who say it for KCP have to attend secondary school in total. And if they're not able to attend in total, what is the percentage that we're able to receive? And if that percentage, for example, we can be able to know in the next 2 weeks that out of students who sat KCP last year, we got only 40% to secondary school.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If we got 40%, where is the other remaining 60%? And what do we blame it on? Do we blame it on the harsh economic times that we are experiencing? And now we know, because if we get such data, then we can know that the harsh economic, we can now try to do a comparative analysis of what is the productivity, what is the impact of the harsh economic times on our critical infrastructure, for example, education and health. Yes. How many people are we able to lose because of the harsh economic times? How many people are not able to access medicine, for example, because that impact will be there? And the most critical infrastructure in any governance are three actually. There is education, health, and security. Very important, those three. Get me right. So we need to know what is the impact of the harsh economic times on our education and on our health.
And still on the harsh economic times, the government, the Kenya Kwanza government, announced that education has eaten the biggest chunk of everything that we collect in the country. Leave alone that, we have the NGCDF, we have scholarship, but the education seems a little bit expensive to this moment.
Yes, it is expensive because we've lost our priorities. For example, what is the outcome? Do we receive the expected outcome? For example, I will tell you, how much does it cost to train somebody at the university? 500,000, for example, a simple course. A course like law will cost you 700,000. A course like medicine will cost another almost 800,000 or $1 million. How many parents are able to pay for this much? Very few of them can pay for that much. And now, at the end of the day, what is the outcome? What is the expected outcome? These people come from the university and do nothing. That means it's a waste of resources. That makes education very expensive. You know, when we do education, when you educate an individual, Troy, the only reason why you went to school to have an education was not supposed to help you. No, your bills are very small that you can manage them. Education, you are only educated for society. If you become an accountant, how does that help you? You're only accountant because you have to help the industries. You have to help your expertise is helping the society move. Yes, you are educated as a broadcaster, for example.
Yes.
For what? For the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, for the society.
Yes.
So when we invest in individuals, an individual's education, we actually doing development for society. That is why even companies like Safaricom and all these big companies that are outside there, the investors, are supposed to play a part in education and fund education, because at the end of the day, it is them who need that growth. It is them who need that capacity. It is them who need these people to help those companies grow. When a country invests in education, it is about development of the country, not about the development of the individual. That is why if you go to Europe today, Europe policy, education is free.
It's free, yes.
Because they know that when you educate people, you are only building the society, developing society. But us here, we are making education expensive. Somebody asked that if education is the way to success,
yes,
why do we make it expensive for we? You get me right?
Yes.
Yes, it is expensive And okay, the Kenya Kwanza government is saying, but again, we should see these people whom we are training. That is why it is important to have the CBC thing. It is skill-based, not exam-based. Because now if you have 50,000 E's, what do you do with these guys? Yeah, because when they believe that it is education that... And again, for them to receive E's, I teach at the university and I don't really give E's.
Why is that?
Because in my training, I trained in a similar system like the CBC thing. Yes, I trained in Europe. And when you didn't pass an exam, you are given a second chance to do the same paper. Nothing changes. Because the idea is that when we teach students, we want them to pass. That is the only idea. We don't want students to fail. No, we don't give exams or train them to fail. No, we train them to pass.
Yeah.
So in my class, if I have 50 students, I can only be ranked as a good lecturer when only 10 maybe fails. But if 50% fail, that means there's a problem with the teaching process. For example, E. For somebody to go to class for 4 years, sit there for 4 years and get an E, that means that they only wrote their names. Because even in a mathematical question, there are areas where you just need to draw or write just a formula, you get a mark. So when you write something, even participation, for example, if you go for a marathon, Troy, you know you are paying participation fee, just appearing fee.
Yeah.
Because you took your time and went there and appeared. So if you sat in exam and you were there for 4 years, people who get E are people who only wrote their names and left. So for me, if I mark exams in university, if I'm realizing that this person didn't attempt, I have to hand you over to the administration. Because we have laws there. For example, we can't examine people who didn't attend 70% of class. If you didn't attend physically 70% of the class, I can't examine you. Because what will I be examining this student on? But these people attended for 4 years. They were there, sat in the exams. They were trained. There's a missing link between the instructor and the learner. Maybe they were not even getting their language. Because, for example, were they teaching in French?
All right. And still, I'm looking at the clutter again.
Yes.
We are back to school amidst a myriad of challenges: inadequate funding, crowding, insufficient teachers. Some say that even some who are on contract have said now we could down our tools. Those are some of the challenges that are staring at our students in January, in the first term of the year. We have done away with the KCSE, now we are in CBC. If we drag the challenges, same challenges that we had during the other curriculum, which is the KCSE, now we drag it to CBC, I believe you're going to have a lot of troubles.
We should not have a lot of trouble. The only problem that we have privatized so much of our education. That is a problem, privatizing education. And privatizing education, I mean privatizing to an extent of privatizing public schools. Even public schools are privatized in nature. It is about the money you pay. We should make education public. For example, in other countries in Europe, what they do, you have private schools in Europe, but education is free. So what happens is that when you do a private school in Europe, you hand over the school to government. So standards and everything is done by government. Government will pay you your money.
More or less, there's a uniformity.
There's a uniformity.
Yeah.
You get me right? There's that uniformity. So when we want to implement CBC, the intention of CBC is supposed to be skill-based. If it is skill-based, is that we are able to fizzle out the learners at very many levels. For example, in the older system, people will leave class 7 and become teachers. People will leave from 2 and become untrained teachers. You get me right? You work there. And you could check, is this thing good for me? Things like people who work so much, we are now exporting nurse aides to Europe. what do you need to be a nurse aide? Nurse aide is nursing. So you need only maybe class 8 and a 3 months course. Then you're able to do the work, right? People who work, for example, in aeroplane, like a cabin crew, you need to learn the rules and learn a few things. You need actually, what they say, you need 12 years in school. 12 years in our previous system was in Form 2, right?
Yeah.
So after that, the airline will train you. So there is no need of going up to Form 4, getting a university degree, then you become a cabin crew, for example. There's no need of going up to university to get a degree, bachelor's in science, then you become a bank teller. You get me right? So it is a waste of talent, waste of resources, there's a lot of wastage. So when we do CBC and we know the real intention of CBC and it works the way we feel it should be able to work, then we are able to fizzle these people out after a particular time. So we don't have to go to the apex that you have to get a master's degree. Even at workplaces, you find for you to get a promotion, they were giving promotions to people who have master's degree. So people have to buy, even leadership. I don't think still that as much as I teach at the university, but I don't think if you need to have a master's degree to be a governor. No, that is leadership.
All right. And, we're talking about going back to school, and a number of parents have said that maybe it should be a government policy that allows that each and every student is allowed in school without even clearing the fees or having some of the statutory requirements.
Yes.
Then there can be a working program, more or less like the way we have, you buy something on credit. Because there are some schools where you have to pay a certain amount of money. And the government kind of is a little bit quiet on that. And he knows that parents are quite struggling.
You see, when we came up
You can adopt it as a policy.
When we came up with the idea behind free primary education, the idea was that it should be free. By free, I mean not even uniform. Free, like walk to school. There is no reason that you say that this is free primary education and somebody can be blocked by the gate because they don't have uniform. That is not free then, because uniform is monetary.
Yeah.
Right? They're not able now to come to school because they don't have uniform. They're not able to buy. If it is free, it is free. You can't stop somebody because they didn't buy a book or because they didn't pay some activity money. That is not free. If it is free primary education, which it is what we're having, then it should be free. By free, I mean there are no bottlenecks. Nothing can stop this person from going to school.
Yeah.
You get me right? Again, according to our constitution, education is a right. Our bills of rights are very clear. Everybody must be able to access education.
From what you're saying, that we should do away with the word free primary education in the country, because it's not quite free.
It is not free, because you can still stop people not going to school because they don't have uniform.
Yeah,
so
activity fees.
They're
even sent back to
They are
school,
sent back home. Yeah, because of activity fee, because of some watchman was supposed to be paid or board of governors. For example, you know very well that the government pays for day schools only, right? And the government has not been funding boarding schools. The boarding section is normally funded by BOGs and parents. The staff that is paid by government is the teachers, right? But you see, there's a bus driver. There's the guy who cooks for these people.
Yes.
There's a secretary in the office of the principal.
Yes.
There's people who work in the boarding. There's a groundsman. These people get paid.
Yes.
But get paid from what resources?
Yes.
Government. These people should be accommodated in government payrolls. When government pays teachers, government should be able to pay for anything that goes into the management of a boarding school, for example.
Yes.
Pay for cooks because they cook for those kids.
Yes.
Pay for groundsmen because the school has to be cleaned. Pay for those cleaners. But TSC only pays teachers. So the question is, who pays these guys for it to be a proper boarding school? There's a secretary who works as, or the bazaar who works, or the finance guys who works in the in administration of blocks of schools. And these ones are the things that causes problems. For example, again, what I noticed in these exams, if there was no malpractice, and we managed to deal with school strikes. School strikes, we used to have them in July every year because of the depression of exams and the mocks. So this time, we've been having every July school arson attacks and what have you. This time, there was nothing like that. Means that probably they've given it up. We don't want to struggle to pass that thing. I will go and write my name.
Well, it's a very good observation that we are not experiencing any schools unrest of late.
Yeah, because the way government dealt with it. Government criminalized school arson attacks. The DCI said that if you are caught to
you're a criminal, not a
criminal, you are treated as a normal criminal.
Now, another thing, the competition, the exam.
Yes.
You do remember a lot of strikes and unrest.
It was because in July, because of the mocks.
Yes.
Yes, the mocks seemed to be very hard. The kids used to get so much depressed, and they will ban schools because they wouldn't want to be in those systems. And remember, in those strikes, they never happened in day schools. There's no day school that got banned. And now, what about the infrastructure that they used to ban? They never burnt classes. They burnt dormitories.
Dormitories.
Why were they banning dormitories? They were banning dormitories because they wanted to go home. They don't want to be in that system, but because they're depressed. But the students who go to day school are eased out. After school, you can see your parents, you be with them, and it is easy. It's not like academic. You get off that system, and everybody will get boring. In case you sit in this seat for almost 3-4 days, you'll get bored. So there were no arson attacks. There were no banning of these schools in this place and all that. And now we've ended up with this ease. That means that maybe there is a correlation between the depression and the hard work that was there amongst the students, that they gave up on it and they don't want to ban schools and they decided to stay. But to stay what? To stay that when that exam comes, I'll just write my name and leave it.
That's it.
My dad told
That's
me.
also an unrest.
Yes.
A form of an unrest.
Yes.
But anyway, first of all, let's cross over to Hanis Academy, where my colleague Alvin Kaunda is keeping tabs with what is happening there. Of course, there's jubilation and celebration in regards to the KCSE results that were announced yesterday. But when we come back, we will be wrapping up this discussion on education. But the good thing is that we will have Mheshimiwa Joshua Mwalio to tell us about how CDF actually came in place to assist us complete the KCSE. But first things first, Alvin Kaunda, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm coming to you live from Hanif Academy here in Eastleigh, Nairobi, where the school is celebrating the just released 2023 KCSE results. And so far the school has just received the results and they are so happy, and they have managed to register 5 A minuses. The school doesn't have any A plane from the school, and you can see behind me the students are really excited because just 24 hours ago, maybe a day ago, the Ministry of Education released the the KCSE 2023 results. And with me here, I have the school manager. Maybe if I can ask you a few questions, Mister. Thank you very much for joining us. Maybe you can start with your names and tell us what this means for you for the school. Yeah?
Welcome. Bismillah. I'm Nazib Yusuf Ahmed. I'm the manager in charge of academic. This is Hanif's schools. We have got primary, we have got kindergarten, we have got junior, we have got high school, and this was our first attempt. The first attempt with our first KCSE we have ever done. This is a class I've registered from 2021, and this is the time they have done their first KCSE. And we have managed to send, out of a class of 41, we have managed to send 40 of them to the university straight, having 5 A minuses, 10 B pluses, and then 15 B minuses, and we have got 2 C plus. And this helped us. We managed to make this far out of the effort of our head teacher, of our principal, the class teachers, and the teachers who made this happen. We are very much grateful to the Lord. We are very much grateful to our teachers. and in particular to the director, who have chosen for us the best squad, teaching squad. Yeah.
And maybe if you can tell us, what is your secret? Because you say this is actually the first time for the first KCSE for the school, and you managed to give us very nice results. What does that mean?
Okay, having attempted the first national exam, and sending the whole class to university, scoring C+ and above all of them, it's something marvelous, and I'm very much grateful, and I congratulate them as a class. Next year, that is 2024, this year, I'm going to register about 70 candidates, the current Form 3s, the current Form 4s, and I will, inshallah, with the help of God, we are going to manage the whole of them to the university, inshallah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. There you have it from the school manager, and also let's hear from the school head teacher and maybe what he has to say for this.
Oh, my name is Peter Nyaragi. I'm currently the principal of Andiva High School. We have really worked hard for this. There is no secret to success other than working hard. I believe in my staff, committed, qualified, and doing the right job. And that is why we managed to score, though it was our first attempt, but we have done exemplary well. I thank the teachers who have done this work. I thank the management and the director of the school who has done a lot, waking up very early in the morning and making sure that everything is in place. We thank him so much because he really assisted us in doing this. Our students are well disciplined and well groomed, and that is why we are able to get such results.
Okay, back to the same question. The school has 5 A minuses, and is there, in terms of gender, do you have more ladies to men or men to ladies?
We had 3 boys and 2 girls having an A minus, so actually the boys topped.
Oh,
yes, the boys topped.
Okay, thank you very much. And also, what is the last grade that the school managed to get?
The last grade was a C+, and therefore we managed to send all our learners to university direct entries.
Okay, there you have it. You can see the school are really celebrating once more. They are so excited, and they've said out of 41 students, the entire class had 41 students, and they managed to send all of them to universities. The last student had a C+, and it's also, once again, to mention again, it is also the first time they're having their KCSE 2023, and first time they're having their KCSE, and the students are so excited. Also, we will keep you updated as we go around more schools and see how schools have performed in the last year's KCSE. Back to you in studio.
Thank you, Alvin Kaunda there in Eastleigh, and as you can see, the students and also the teaching staff are quite excited, talking about working hard and working hand in hand with parents and believing in their staff. That is something, a key that I've noted that the head of state has noted, that believing in their staff, that is the teaching fraternity and others, and all students have scored at least C+ and above, meaning that all of them are going to be going to the varsity. And indeed, from there we cross over to Kisumu. Kisumu also, the celebrations they are going, and we also be looking at other celebrations in the course of the day. But on the education note, we wrap it up with Oscar Omondi, and thank you indeed so much for your insight. Let's now cross over to Wycliffe Okech, who is in Kisumu, to give us a feel of how the parents and teachers are celebrating the KCSE.
Well, thank you so much, Bentro Njue, back in Nairobi. Let me just correct you a bit. We are live from Uasin Gishu County, to be specific. This is Kip Kenya Ward in Kapseret constituency here in Uasin Gishu County. We are looking at the affordable housing program. You see, this is one of the pillars upon which the Kenya Kwanza agenda is based, and today the president is breaking ground for the construction of affordable housing units here in Uasin Gishu County. As we speak with you right now, the president is in Soy constituency for a similar exercise. Thereafter, he will head straight to this point here, right where we are. As you can see on the background, people have gathered here. The local political leaders and also the residents have also gathered here, awaiting the president to come and break ground ground for the construction of more than 1,000 housing units here in Kipkenya Ward in the pioneer area of Uasin Gishu County here. But then, Troy, let me just get to engage the local, the area political leaders basically to share with us what is their opinion of how this entire project is going to benefit the area residents here. And of course we have got some push and pull between the judiciary and the executive regarding the housing, the affordable housing project. Let me just get to hear the opinion, starting with you, Mheshimiwa. Introduce yourself and tell us what is your opinion on this particular program today.
I want to take this opportunity to
your name?
My name is Honorable David Kimeli Leching, member of County Assembly of Kipkenya Ward, and I am happy today because we have already have a project of the affordable housing, and I want to take this opportunity to appreciate for our president to bring into this ward the affordable houses, and all people of Kipkenya Ward or Uasin Gishu Kapsaret constituency are happy because of this project. This project will assist all people of Kapsaret and Uasin Gishu County as a whole. So we are here because we are waiting for our president to come and launch this project, and we are ready to work with our president, and we are here to support our president because of this our affordable houses. And we don't want even to hear anybody who say that they can go to court or whatever, anywhere. This is a project that will assist the people of Uasin Gishu and Kenya as a whole, and we are happy to receive this project in two hands, and we are here to appreciate because we have already waited for more days when we want these houses to be here, but now today we are happy to receive this project. So we are here to support 100% without any contradiction.
Initially, the occupants of the houses that were hosted on this land, we understand that they have been relocated. As a member of the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu County, did the Assembly approve of their relocation?
We have already approved that this project will continue because the land was for the county, and we have already understand that this project will bring a good job for the people of Uasin Gishu. So we are here to support because we know our people will benefit in this project. Up to now, you see there is many people somewhere here that we have already came to try to find out where we will get a job, and me as a leader of this area, I am happy because my people have already received a job, and I appreciate on that. Thank you, Mr. President, because of this project. And I want to say, all of us in Uasin Gishu, we will pray for you because you have already bring for us a job that they can assist our people of Kipkenya Ward and Uasin Gishu as a whole and Kenya. Thank you, Mr. President.
Ben, that is the area MCA that is representing the members, residents of Kipkenya Ward. It is Kipkenya Ward where this project is being constructed. And but before I hand it back to you in studio, yet another, let me just engage, Madam, tell us what your name is and what is, if you're a resident of the Uasin Gishu, what actually, are you a political leader, or which role do you play? And actually, your opinion, because we have got some sort of litigations and people going to court, claiming that this project is unconstitutional. As a resident of Uasin Gishu, what do you have to say about that?
Actually, my name is Veronica Chepkemei Burgay. I'm from Uasin Gishu County, Kapsaret constituency. As we speak, this is my constituency that this affordable housing has been put, and we are so much privileged as Kapseret constituency. Myself, I'm not of the court because they are doing what is not good to the people of this country. Our manifesto, when our president was doing was launching his manifesto, was about affordable housing. And by the way, this acreage that is these measurements here will carry the people this acreage here was carrying 200 people. As we speak, when we put this affordable housing, it will carry around 1,000 people. And it is affordable. Anyone can afford to buy this house. Yeah, whether you are employed or not. Right. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. And Troy, those are some of the comments that are coming from the leaders you've heard. That is the area MC and of course a resident of the Kapseret constituency here in Uasin Gishu County, telling us about this project, the opinion on the project. We understand that this project is going to benefit massively the locals of this area because it is affordable in the first place, and of course the next benefit, you've heard the president mentioning it quite repeatedly, that the affordable housing project is not just meant to provide locals with affordable house units, but then also it is meant to create job opportunities by way of construction and also availing rather provision of various building or rather construction materials. And it is in that spirit that the president actually, you heard him mention yesterday that he extended an olive branch to the judiciary actually to also consider the needs of Kenyans, basically, in as much as every Kenyan has the right to go to court and also challenge some policies by the executive, of course, but then he appealed to the judiciary and also the litigants that have proceeded to court to challenge that policy to go slow, of course, to help in delivering the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza by way of through the affordable housing program. Like I mentioned while we were beginning, the president right now is in Soy, is also breaking ground for the construction of affordable housing units. Thereafter, he will fly all the way to this place here in Kenya Ward, Kapseret constituency here in Uasin Gishu to break ground for the construction of more than 1,000 affordable housing units right here. We are on ground, and of course we are waiting for him, and we will take note of every remark that he will make, and of course our viewers will get much more details regarding this exercise today later on. Back to you, Troy.
Thank you, Wycliffe, for catch there. And following up on the president itinerary, he is in Eldoret, where he is expected to commission affordable housing projects. And just before, and when Wycliffe was speaking to some of the leaders there, I was also having a conversation on the same with a number of leaders that we have here. And just allow me to introduce them so that we may be able to have a short break, and then we come back and talk about the state of the nation. Just next to me, we have an advocate of the High Court and also a governance and leadership expert. He's also a lecturer, university lecturer, and also a leguer here. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, Wakili Gibson Gisore.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's the first time we are doing this.
First time we are doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much. And just next to him, we have Honorable Charles Nguna, who is the MP Mwingi West. He is elected on a Wiper ticket. He is also a member of the Special Funds, Sports and Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committees. And just next to him, we have Oscar Omondi. Thank you indeed for keeping tabs till this moment. And just next to him, we have Honorable Joshua Mwalio, who is the Masinga MP. He is also a member of the House Business, NGCDF, and also trade. You'll be telling us on NCGDF and how students have really quite benefited, and especially those who have just done the KCSE. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
你知道汪淼？
知道，一个纳米科学家。
Are the measurement correct?
Yeah. No accuracy. Misfit of data.
Please fax me the results.
到这里来，我将帮助你们获得这个世界。我的文明已无力解决自己的问题，需要你们的力量。
But the truth will come out one day. And for sure, I'll find out who that woman came between us is.
If Alonso finds out, we'll get into trouble.
Well, you're the one who caused these problems. You filled Rodrigo's head with the idea that Lucia was the best for him.
Rodrigo Zuniga, you're a spineless ninny.
Well, I guess. She told you everything that happened at the day of her supposed wedding.
Yes. But she told me that she's gotten over it. Do you believe that?
We all know what he did, but you went too far.
Of course not.
Too far,
I don't
Letty.
care. He deserves that. He should be the one suffering.
For me, baby, I'm sorry that you're sorry, but sorry can't dry my tears, lady. Lay your head to rest, baby. Let us put love to the test.
Iko nayo.
Iko na nini?
Tukuli.
Tukuli ni nini?
Tukuli ya bachelor's boys whatever. Tukuli ndio hiyo mheshimiwa.
Wewe ni mtoto.
Mimi si mtoto.
Unasoma hiyo shule?
Sisomi kwa hiyo shule.
Sasa utadropiwa wapi?
Kwani nani ya chako ndio hiyo?
Wewe anakidnap mtoto, ana traumatize mtoto sababu ya pesa ngapi wewe?
Na wakati wewe na kunyima pesa ndani ya nyumba, unasikianga namna gani?
Nasikianga ni kama naweza kole tande na nitafute bwana mwingine.
دريتيش يما اللي حاصل وانت غايبه.
Ningependa tuzungumzie aina za watu ambao hawataweza kuonja ama kunusa hata harufu ya pepo ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Katika sifa hizi 10 zimetajwa hapa, ukiwa nazo kutokamana na mafundisho ya Bwana Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam, wataingia katika moto wa jahannam.
These are the moments we live for every Friday as we catch up with the world of football.
Manchester City go in front.
With your favorite stars in rivalries like no other that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Learn a few tricks that keep you ahead of the game and spice it all with unforgettable moments on Dunda Dunda. On Saturday, you're in for another treat as we rock your weekend with all sporting disciplines, bringing you insights on what's happening behind the scenes as we share players and athlete stories, preparations, and celebrate their achievements.
Charging to the line. Is it going to be a world record? Yes, it is. She smashed it.
Whatever angle you look at, we've got you covered. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
So you definitely know the boy is amazing. Wakikwambia ni uongo, ambia that's a long corniest, the boy is corny.
When you empower a woman at the expense of a man, then you have no community at the end of the day, because it takes two to build a community.
Now we feel the society has taken a step back from looking at the boy child. So we have this other side which is accelerating and the boy child side which is stagnated.
Boy child must face it rough, you know. So I think there needs to be a stand on that.
KBC Channel 1 magazine programs strive to disseminate news and information.
Welcome to Happening in the World of Entertainment
and achievements of individuals navigating through life.
Be part of the intelligent conversation.
Up at KBC Channel 1. Related to the interest of Kenyan public on various subjects of national importance.
Basi karibu tujifunze.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news,
challenges, and remarkable stories of individuals with disabilities.
So you have a say.
Our magazine programs empower communities with words for conversations and a common language to approach the world.
For your infotainment needs, we have a great range of programs.
Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but two heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
Welcome back to News Check, and thank you so much indeed for keeping it KBC Channel 1. And of course, it's KCSE back to school, and also we are looking at the state of the nation. We are checking all these three. And for now, we cross over to the coastal city of Mombasa, where Njue Karisa is on standby to give us a feel of back to school. Njue, if you can hear me, tell us what is the latest. I can see you, and you are at a bus park. Over to you.
Good morning. We are live from the Mwembe Tayari bus stop in Mombasa. Today is the second day that parents across the country are taking their kids back to school. Some of them for new admissions and most of them for continuance. However, there are several laments from the parents, but we just want to get a view from them to understand what exactly it has costed them. Are they satisfied with whatever measures the government has set in place in matters of school fees, or when it comes to the purchase of textbooks and uniforms or any other basic commodities? Are they faring on well, and how they are taking it? This is the second day. Yesterday, the stages were full and people were making their way to school. Even as we were doing a spot check on the KCSE results as they were being received in various schools in Mombasa County, we saw the influx of students admitting going to school for the first time or going back to school as the calendar year begins again. But let me just get the perspective of our parents just to give you an overview of how they are taking it. Karibu sana KBC. Utatuambia tu jina na kama leo ni siku ya kwanza unapeleka mtoto ama yuko kidato cha ngapi kwa sasa?
Kwa majina mimi naitwa,
unaweza angalia kule.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Alson Kahindi. Upande wa secondary mimi niko na vijana wawili. Niko na kijana ako form 4 ameingia form 4 na mwingine huyu napeleka sasa yako form 3.
Umeonaje kwa sasa? Manake mzigo umeniambia hapo awali kwamba ni mzigo mzito sana. Imekuwaje wewe kama mzazi?
Hali imekuwa ngumu. Hali si rahisi. Na yake imebidi tunaingia hata madeni kuona kukopa ili watoto waweze kuendelea na masomo. Hali imekuwa sio rahisi. Na hata sasa unavyoniona ninampeleka na mdomo kavu afike shule mambo mengine baadaye.
Pengine umeangalia kuhusu vitabu, umeviangalia, umeenda kuuliza bei, pengine umejua kama ni shilingi ngapi?
Vitabu vimepanda. Nikifanya shopping last year ilikuwa a bit down. Lakini saizi imepanda na around 40%. Mambo imekuwa si rahisi. Nilikuwa na 10,000 yangu mahali nikisema nitameneji, lakini imeenda yote hata sijamaliza. Yeah.
Na pengine kwa serikali wito wako ungekuwaje? Manake naelewa akienda shule kuna vitu anahitaji, sabuni, anahitaji mafuta, anahitaji vitu vile na una wawili. Je, kwa mtazamo wako hali vile gharama ya maisha vile iko, wewe kama mzazi?
Vile serikali imepiga hesabu ya kusaidia mambo ya fees kwa wazazi, step up kabisa, kwa sababu hali si rahisi. Hali si rahisi kusema ule kweli.
Pengine ukifika shule mwalimu mkuu akwambie lazima ulipe, itakuwaje? Manake naarifiwa watafika kisha baadaye watarudishwa nyumbani. Ukifika matumaini yako kama mzazi ni gani?
Mwalimu mkuu ni mzazi, na ninaamini anaelewanga hali zingine. Kwa kuwa kule nyuma sina deni ya kuzidi, ninaamini atanielewa na nitapiga mbio, tutapambana kulipa hiyo deni imebaki.
Tukimalizia wito wako pengine kwa washikadau wa elimu na pengine wazazi wenzako na kwa serikali kwa jumla.
Kama wazazi tuko na jukumu kuu ya kuhakikisha watoto wanapata elimu zao. Hata ikiwa maisha ni magumu, tujitahidi. Tusiseme na tukawacha mikono nyuma, tuseme serikali peke yake sijui tufanyie bila sisi kujisaidia. Tunajisaidia kwanza, serikali inaingia baadaye.
Shukrani sana. Nimeshukuru sana kwa muda wako. Unaweza endelea tu na kwenda shuleni. Acha nipate mzazi mwingine. Ujambo mami, karibu KBC. Tueleze leo unapeleka mtoto, unaitwa nani na unapeleka mtoto shule mara ya kwanza ama ndo unaendelea? Nakushikia tu.
Oh, utanishikia. Sawa. Mimi si jambo.
Waitwa nani?
Naitwa Linda Zoka. Huyu ni bradangu, mimi ni guardian wake. Nampeleka shule kwa sasa hivi Shimolato, aenda kusoma shuleni. Ni kumwombea heri njema. Lakini kwa kifupi mimi naweza sema hali ya maisha venye imekuwa ngumu, sasa school fees iko ghali, basari yenyewe yaja pesa kidogo. Mambo siku hizi yamekuwa magumu kidogo. Labda serikali jaribu kutuangalia kidogo, hata watoto wetu pia tuwasaidie waweze angalau pia sisi kama mzazi ujisaidie na mahitaji yako na pia mtoto wako kule shuleni. Maana tumeambiwa school fees yafaa kuwa nusu, na ukiangalia hiyo pesa yenyewe hujafikisha nusu. Maana pia kuna wengine wadogo wake pia wenye labda wanataka labda serikali tuangalie.
Pengine umeenda supermarket, umeenda kuangalia anahitaji kama sabuni, anahitaji mafuta, anahitaji vitu vingi. Umeangalia vitu vikoje, umeangalia vitabu vyake pia vikoje? Je, umeweza kupata vyote ama hali yako imekuwaje?
Hali imekuwa ngumu kidogo. Vitu pia supermarket vimepanda. Yaani kila kitu sasa maisha yako gali kila mahali. Si vitabu vyake. Uzuri sasa vitabu vingine tupata shuleni ndio, lakini sasa kuna kama haya mahitaji, maana sasa tumeambiwa tununue tena pia zingine za uniform zimekuwa gali. Mwenyewe ukimwangalia labda kuna vitabu vingine amekosa uongeze. Waona mambo yamekuwa gali kule, si nje si ndani, kila mahali, yani kugumu.
Wito wako pengine kwa serikali ama washikadau wote wa elimu, kama wewe kama mzazi ama guardian?
Mimi kama guardian nitasema yani kama serikali angalau hata kama waona ile basari ile waongeze kitu kidogo, alafu si eti waangalie, yani si eti wabague wazazi, maana kuna wengine wanabagulika vile. Waongeze ile pesa ya basari na wasaidie yule mtoto mwenye ukweli anahitaji kusaidiwa. Si tayari kuna wengine wako na uwezo alafu pia bado wako kwa ile kategoria ya kupata basari. Watuangalie sisi, maana kuna kama huyu ana wenzake chini yake, waona lazima wasaidike. Kwa hivyo serikali watuangalie kwa upande wa shule sana, wapunguze angalau vitu vya shule, waone kama wanaweza kupunguza kidogo.
Kutakia wakati mwema. Asante sana kwa kuongea nasi. Those are just sentiments of parents who are taking their children to school. Some of them it's the first time, some of them it's continuous. The borders is for the first time during this period. They are wondering what they're going to do. They have checked the prices of commodities in the supermarket, the textbook. It's not an easy affair, as they have rightly put it, and we're just doing a spot check. Regardless of the hardness of life, these parents have vowed to continue with the momentum of taking their children so that they can get the basic need of education. So we are doing a spot check. From here we are heading to the Buxton bus stage. That's where most of the students proceeding to the south, the north of the coast region are heading to school, and we'll also see if their lamentations are similar as this. But for now, I hand it back to you in studio as we continue chit-chatting with some of the parents on the situation as students head back to school as the academic year starts this January.
Thank you so much. Njue Karisa live from Mombasa, and it's back to school. Of course, KCSE has also taken a large chunk of the back to school fanfare. But quoting the first parent has said that hali si hali. Let's have a feel from one of the Mheshimiwas in regards to the KCSE, and I'll begin with Honorable Joshua Mwalio, who is the MP Masinga. Like your reflections on the last KCSE, we are just wrapping up the KCSE curriculum, and you sit at the board of the committee of the NGCDF, which has really helped a lot of students complete their KCSE. I would like you to touch on that.
Thank you very much for welcoming us here. About the KCSE, which the results came out yesterday, we have seen the results are impressive and some are not impressive. And you remember, as things continue, people tend not to change with a change. And we are happy for them that scored well. And especially the students that the members of parliament have been sponsoring through the NGCDF funds and bursaries. We are happy for them because we saw the students that we have sponsored have done very well, majority of them, because they are not being sent home every now and then to go and look for school fees, but they have been able to concentrate because the fund has guaranteed them education. So generally, the students have done well. The only concern is for the students that never showed up for the exams, over almost 4,000. And we were not told before whether they were missing. We were only told yesterday when the results came out. So we should be able to know where did these students go and what is the problem so that it can be solved, because that is spoiling their future.
Honorable Charles Nguna, the MP Mwingi West, I would like your reflections on the KCSE and back to school. And as you have heard, both parents in Mombasa, and I'm quite sure this resonates with a number of parents around the country, is that it's quite hard, the harsh economic times. I would like you to reflect on those two, the KCSE and the back to school.
Happy New Year, viewers. Happy New Year, everybody in this world. And let me begin by congratulating the students who actually performed exemplary very well, and appreciate the impact the CDF has really been doing. I have been sponsoring 14 students in my constituency fully with CDF, and 14 of them who did last year, they scored straight A's from different national schools and even extra county schools, and that tells you how important the CDF is in as far as education in our country is concerned. And Ben, let me begin by saying the biggest justice actually the government should do right now is releasing capitation 100% without any delay, and even releasing the arrears that have already been incurring. And it is high time we start supporting this education very well without actually delaying release of capitation. We are experiencing severe delays in disbursement of CDF at the moment. No single constituency out of the 290 which have really gotten any single cent from the CDF kitty, and we are really agitating and also urging the government, the treasury, the exchequer, to release these funds soon as possible. We have got so many students who are stranded and they scored 350 marks and above. And some of them even cannot be able to buy even personal effects and items. And we are heavily relying on CDF to educate them. That is why it is very important, and that's why you have seen our colleagues congregating in Parliament at the moment to urge the Treasury, the Exchequer, to release the funds soonest possible. Yes.
Very well. And we also have Silas David, who is the chairperson of the Parents Teachers Association. Just some reflections, Bona Chair. We are talking about harsh economic times. Parents decrying the high cost of learning materials, crying about the school fees, you know. And some have even suggested that we have more or less like a policy that every opening day, all students go back to school, everything else will be sorted out a little bit later. I would like to pick your mind on that.
Yeah, thank you very much for welcoming me here this morning. I want to say first of all that I'm happy that the schools are opening today, and the parents are well prepared to have their children back to class. We all understand that our country, not even the country, the whole world is going through tough economic times. And parents are looking forward to their children going to school, whether with or without money. And in Kenya, we normally say that education is free. That policy has been there, or they say has been there, that education is free. And these are parliamentarians, they can tell you, that's what they speak, they say education is free. But at times again, they say now, it's cost sharing. So some parents don't understand exactly what is cost sharing and what's this that's free. How free is education in Kenya? But my point is that parents are going through difficult times currently. There are parents who cannot even afford to have a meal for their children at the house, leave alone going to school. I have got so many calls. Like I got a call from a parent from Kirinyaga yesterday, and he told me that the son has not been in school since last term, last year, the third term. The boy didn't go to school because of fee balances. He was asked to stay away. He didn't even do the end term exams. Right now, the same parent is wondering whether this child will go to school or not. And I request that the parent has to take the child to school and request the principal to allow the child to sit in class. But they make arrangements on how the payments can be done softly, depending on the crisis that we have in the country. To the government, I've heard about CDF. And I want to thank the president because yesterday he said openly that the CDF funds will be out by today. That's something that we have to apply about that. We are happy as parents that the CDF will be out today. But the members of parliament, I want them to be very sincere upon the issuing CDF forms to the parents. You know, sometimes they need to go for those that voted for them or went to campaign for them. They have that kind of system of choosing. I want to be very clear on this one, that parents are equal and children are Kenyans. When we go back to the mashinani to give out the forms for bursaries, let us be very fair and very fair to every student and every parent. And before that, let there also be a research. Even through the Parents Association, we can do research in each and every count to identify the most needy students who deserve those bursaries. Because you find that, mimi ni mheshimiwa, but I still give my son a bursary. How can that happen? When there is a parent who actually cannot afford even a penny for the child, and this parent cannot even get the form. I have that information. So we are saying that let us go for those parents that really have the need.
All right. And this education conversation, I'm quite sure is going to be on Kenyans' lips for the rest of the week. But I would like us to change the trajectory a bit, and I would like to rope in Wakili here, Gibson. And right now, the president is in Eldoret for the next couple of days. And one of the things that he's doing today is commissioning a number of affordable housing projects. And to be very honest, it has more or less caused a friction with the judiciary, the same affordable housing project. But the president did come out straight to say that this is something that the train has already left the station. And despite the numerous challenges, including by the judiciary, he's not gonna be stopping anytime soon. I would like to pick your mind on that as we start the new year and the affordable housing projects. Today is actually commissioning around 3.
Thank you, Bento, for inviting me here for this discussion today. And I want to wish well all the students who did well in the examination and the parents of this struggle to take their kids to school amidst the challenges. Back to your question, it's a bit unsettling and it's troubling that as Kenyans we could be having such discussion about housing. once we have a constitution which has said that there are separate arms of government, and each arm of government should be able to check the other. Now, there seems to be a very interesting situation in which we find ourselves in, whereby we have realized that the executive has decided that they can never be checked by the judiciary, which is another arm of government. Next, it will be that if you decide not to vote for the bill in parliament, which is pro-government, then you'll be told there is a sword.
Yeah. All right. We need. Apologies. We need to check your mic, but I'll toss the question back to Oscar. Oscar, in a conversation that we were with you, I will quote you. Actually, you said that the tension between the executive and the judiciary is inevitable. It is unrealistic to think that it can be eliminated in any government globally. I would like you to support your answer or your statement.
I mean, the idea behind three branches of government, that is the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive, the concept was brought up by somebody called Charles Montesquieu, who, when he founded this concept, he believed that one system of government should not be more powerful than others. So it's called checks and balances. So checks and balances is that the judiciary should be able to check what the executive is doing, and the executive is able to check what the judiciary is doing, and same to parliament. When these checks and balances happen, there will be tensions when they're checking. This is not something that is strange in this regime. In the other regime, you remember, when former President Uhuru Kenyatta told CJI Chief Justice Maraga that we will revisit after they nullified his election. And again, over issues of judiciary, even the opposition leader, His Excellency Raila Odinga, has in one time or the other warned the judiciary of being either corrupt, or at the time he says that our democracy is on trial because of what the judiciary is doing. And again, now we are back to President William Ruto talking about this judiciary. So those tensions are always inevitable. You can't avoid them because they are checking each other. They cannot work just to agree. Anytime the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature agree, then we, the people who are down there, so the tension is good. It is about checks and balances so that we avoid any excesses that can be in any arm of government. Actually, there is even the fourth arm, which we call the fourth estate, the media. Also, the media also checks what excesses in government do. So somebody said that maybe because attack is on the judiciary, the next level of attack could be in the media, because also what does the media do? The media also checks the excesses of the judiciary, excesses of the legislature, excesses of the executive. So this is just unrealistic to think that they can just work in sync without any tension. Those tensions are good because those tensions are what democracy is all about. Democracy is about checks and balances. So I think whatever is happening, for me, it's very healthy, it is good. And whether judiciary is corrupt, that one is subject to a conversation.
All right. Let's hear from one of the officers of the court, that is Gibson. Apologies for the mic, but we have sorted that out. There had this tension, just like Omondi is talking about. Yes, we need to check each and everyone, from the executive, the legislature, to the to the judiciary. But they have more or less like cost friction. And one of the things that has cost friction is the affordable housing project, which the president is keen on and has cleared the air. Actually, a day later, less than a day later, he said this is what we are saying. And the train has already left the station. So we are not going to stop. But it has cost ripples as well.
Bentru, I think my challenge with what the president is putting across is that the president seems to be giving a very wrong signal that he's not going to follow the law. You realize that whatever the judgment which was given by the Supreme Court for you to the president elect and the president who had been sworn in is the they give credence to the election. And the opposition said that now we can't recognize this election, we can't recognize this decision of the court. I think we could be having a lot of trouble sitting as president. Now, I don't know at what point he has decided that now the court's decisions are no longer palatable for him, or things which he cannot be able to use, so that, because once I was president say something of the sort, now it goes all to all and sundry. I want to echo what Oscar is saying, that it's good for checks and balances, but this is not a check. These are not checks. This is threats. There is a difference between checks and threats. And issuing threats as a person seated as the president gives the wrong signal to everybody. Next, we'll have the Waheshimiwa saying now, if somebody goes to court and sues them, they don't recognize that. Next, you will hear, there is a breakdown in the rule of law. And once the rule of law is broken down, we invite anarchy. Once we invite anarchy, we are having chaos. To your question about national housing, the national housing issue already was given clearance by the court earlier. But now on the second part of going back to court, they realized that it's not in tandem. And I think I was here in KBC at the time when we were debating this, and I did say that, we don't have a clear framework on this. I think one of the MPs who was on set that time told me that there is existing laws from the ministry. We asked him which laws.
I think we were in the same discussion.
I asked him which laws in the ministry. He never said. You ask the president, even when he was having the press at the last time with the journalist, the same question was posed to him. He was asked, which is this clear framework which you can point us to, which we can be able to be comfortable, which gives you the comfort. He said, if you ask the guys at the ministry, they will tell you. Clearly, there seems to be a very serious discordant
we really need, to have a quick break, but we'll be right back. The good thing is that we have a Kenya Kwanza MP, and we also have a Wiper MP. So we're going to be taking a closer look at what they have to say. They're already smiling, but let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
So you definitely know the boy is amazing. Wakikwambia ni uongo, ambia that's a long corny, yes, the boy is corny.
When you empower a woman at the expense of a man, then you have no community at the end of the day, because it takes two to build a community.
Now we feel the society has taken a step back from looking at the boy child. So we have this other side which is accelerating, and the boy child side which is stagnated.
Boy child must face it rough, So I think there needs to be a stand on that.
KBC Channel 1 magazine programs strive to disseminate news and information.
Welcome to Happening in the World of Entertainment
and achievements of individuals navigating through life.
Be part of the intelligent conversation. Upper KBC Channel 1.
Related to the interests of Kenyan public on various subjects of national importance.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news,
challenges, and remarkable stories of individuals with disabilities.
And you have a say.
Our magazine programs empower communities with words for conversations and a common language to approach the world.
For your infotainment needs, we have a great range of programs.
دريتيش يما الحاصل وانت غايبة.
Ningependa tuzungumzie aina za watu ambao hawataweza kuonja ama kunusa hata harufu ya pepo ya Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
Katika sifa hizi 10 zimetajwa hapa, ukiwa nazo kutokamana na mafundisho ya Bwana Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam, wataingia katika moto wa jahannam.
You're not the girl I think you are, and they say I'm not the perfect baby. I'm sorry that you're sorry, but sorry can't dry my tears, lady. Lay your head to rest, baby. Let us put love to the test, baby.
All right, we are back. Just in case you joined us, this is KBC News Check, and we are looking at the state of the nation. Today, the head of state is in Eldoret and is commissioning an affordable housing program, which more or less has ruffled a few feathers here and there, and we are trying to put them into perspective. And we have Wakili who was just clarifying in regards to the framework of that. The Waheshimiwa are quite waiting to hear what they have to say on that.
I think the next point which I was to say is about Waheshimiwa, so we can pick it up from there.
Yes. Yeah.
What the government needs to do is it's a good program. Though you do realize that also the housing is under the government. But now the national government has taken up that. But whichever the case we have it, what the court said is that have a clear framework. Go back to the drawing board and have a clear framework which you can be able to use, which is able to be accountable, which can be checked. So where somebody can be able to establish that these monies are going to this particular kitty and that they're going for a specific purpose. The issue of we have a very big challenge with the land, how the land change is supposed to operate, because these houses are being built on government land, which could be owned by government institutions.
All right.
There is no clear transfer of the tenure from the title from this to that.
Unfortunately, we have another issue with your mic. So I don't know what happened here. But let me toss the ball to Honorable Charles Nguna. And Mheshimiwa, you do support this program, and the MPs were one of the people who actually tasked with the framework, you know, and without discussing the merits of the case, what are you doing as Parliament to ensure that, just as the court advised, that it is enshrined in a legal framework, the housing?
First of all, it's regrettable, the situation we are going through in our country, the situation between the judiciary and the executive. I was not even expecting it. Anybody should actually respect judiciary as per the constitution. From the onset, the president is wrong. And immediately, the judiciary actually said they are following up the matter. The president should have actually postponed the whole exercise and wait for the court verdict. But he has arrogantly continued implementing the project. Let me begin by saying the housing project looks like a personalized issue, because even the approach from the beginning, when you look at the way it has been given, the vast few projects, it's only skewed towards the Kenya Kwanza constituencies and counties. It is not evenly and fairly distributed across the country. We only seen a few constituencies benefiting, and the projects only kicking off in few constituencies vis-a-vis compared. It's supposed to be happening in the
But Mheshimiwa, some would argue that in as much as not all constituencies, not all wards have been touched, it's a work in progress. Maybe in the next phase or in the next calendar year?
We should have actually done in each and every county. Only when you look at the list, only 8 counties have benefited. Why are we not touching the 47? The number of units we are developing at the moment. That is why I am saying this is just a personalized kind of a project, which is regrettably it's been contribution is being done by all the Kenyans across the divide. We need fair and equitable distribution of the same. And from the onset, even the project is illegal, because we have not had the verdict from the court. So whatever the president is doing is setting a very dangerous precedent. And the exercise need to stop and also wait for the judiciary to make a determination instead of rushing and implementing the same.
Let's hear from Mheshimiwa Mwalio. You're from the government side, and this is one of the marquee projects by President William Ruto and by the Kenya Kwanza government. What are you doing to ensure that, just as like the president said and the court said, that it needs to be enshrined in a legal framework? What exactly are you doing?
First of all, I would like to correct you that you said that I'm a Kenya Kwanza member of parliament.
Allied.
I'm an independent.
Allied.
I'm an independent member, but I work with the government.
Okay.
I support the government. So that should be very clear. I support the president and what he's doing. What each person in this country needs to know, that this program was started by the last regime, affordable houses. That's why you can see there are houses in Pangani. There are houses that had been started everywhere. So now, the real work of affordable houses now is when it is in the top gear by the present president, who has taken it upon himself and this country and the housing ministry to be able to build as many houses as possible. Now, because of the flow of the amounts that we are paying, probably the last time I heard is whatever we have collected is now building the affordable houses. We cannot be able to start all the 47 counties affordable houses at the same time, because the flow of contribution is not enough. And also, there are investors who have shown interest in doing the affordable houses, and they have to be guaranteed by the government, and you cannot guarantee if you have your coffers have no money. So the thing is going at a slow pace, because with this country, we are paying debts, at the same time, we are building houses. And the programs have to continue. Number two, every member of parliament was requested to give a piece of land so that 200 units of affordable houses can be built. Some have not even given anything. So they are saying, like CNN is saying, that he doesn't know whether it was requested. It was requested in writing. So we need to give a house, whether it will be done 2025, 2026, 2027, it is a program that is in progress. So we should not rush. Number three, this is a program that started last year, when all the government was put in place. Now, for the cost to come and stop when the train has left the station is pulling us back. So they should also be realistic. People have invested a lot of money. Foreigners are putting up affordable houses according to the president's program. And then you come and put brakes, and it is not, it's illegal to do them. It's, even to me, I don't support the judiciary, because it is supposed to have stopped it before it took off. All right. But when it takes off and people have already brought their money from abroad to come and do the affordable houses, it's not realistic.
All right. Allow me now to sit on the fence, and Oscar, I will direct this question to you. As you can see, each Mheshimiwa is pulling on his side, but they have very valid points. Talking about, this is a project that maybe it was actually in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, but actually the court did not fault the program. What they said is that it need to be anchored in law. How can we strike a balance? Imagine we are sitting on the middle, because from the Kenya Kwanza side, they say indeed this is a project that needs to go on. But looking on the other side, and the courts did note that we need to anchor some things in law.
You see what happens in politics. We have something called a social order, and we have something called a constitution. And what does the constitution say? That is where we go back when we cannot agree. The only thing to arbitrate everything is the constitution. What does the constitution say? If you have a policy, there's a policy-making program. Whatever Mheshimiwa Mwalia is talking about, that these things have been done, people have come from abroad. What were they coming to do when they're coming from abroad, when they're coming to do an illegality here? You're not allowed to come and do an illegality in this country. And I mean, whatever money you want to spend on this thing, the courts, why I said even I support the president sometimes when the president says the judiciary is corrupt. It is corrupt because there's no way. You'll ask Gibson, who is an advocate of the High Court, how can a court rule?
But in all fairness, we don't have anybody from the judiciary here to respond.
No, I'm not saying the judiciary. I'm saying Gibson is an advocate of the High Court. That is an office of the judiciary.
But you know, he cannot speak for the judiciary.
Anyway. But what I'm talking about is that when we have a court ruling that says that a policy is illegal, and the same court puts an injunction and says that okay, continue paying even if it is illegal.
We do want to go to the merits of the case because
okay,
it's an
but anyway, let me not go to the merits of the case. Yes. What I'm saying is that from even the discussion of the members of parliament here, I am even wondering if they come from the same parliament, because these things were supposed to be taken to parliament. Parliament are in agreement. Even if you vote yes or no, you are part and parcel of the process, and the policy was made and the policy was agreed. If there was no public participation in this process, or if the people who are paying the levy were not supposed to pay for the levy, it is upon the systems to get the systems correct. But you can see disorder as an instrument of politics in this one. You know what happens is, most of the thing, whatever Mheshimiwa Bwala is saying, is the informal, not the formal. What happens mostly in Africa, that we spend so much money and so much time on informality as opposed to working for the formal thing. They know. Everybody knows what the formal thing is. Everybody knows that we should go for public participation.
All right.
Those that they didn't know, they knew, but they just decided that, okay, because we have a personalized rule, we are personalizing the rule. Power is being personalized. I will do this thing whether you like it or not.
Not quite. Actually, Oscar, even Wakili here has said that he would want to respond to that. Because we are trying to put things into perspective, Wakili here. And what Oscar is talking about, in as much as it is carrying out it's more or less like skewed on one side.
Yeah, I think Oscar's seems to be reading very... I actually asked him earlier whether he was reading Mussolini's books. Because his sentiments more or less leaned to fascism, which was promoted by Mussolini. When we have a constitution, we need to also have the spirit of the constitution. There's something called the rule of law. The rule of law is whereby you need to have checks and balances, which I think he highlighted, but I think he got the wrong point that there needs to be friction of pointing swords and jumping up, which we don't need. What we need to have is, or what we need to anticipate is a situation of checks and balances where I can disagree with you, but then be able to agree with the law, because we need not deviate from the law, because that is paramount. If we deviate from the law, the way he is speaking that we are dealing in informalities and formalities. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda is a country which is a strongman rule. That one, if the president says it works. But here we are a country which has bestowed to ourselves a constitution which we have sworn to go by, because we have a historical background which we would not want to subscribe to. Now, what you say can work in Rwanda, but not here. Here is whereby the issue of public participation is anchored strongly in the constitution, because we do have projects which become white elephants. At the end of the day, because there was no public participation, Weshimiwas have made markets which people move out and they start selling by the roadside, because these markets are not working for them. So we need not to expend government money to do things which are not going to help us. So we need to have a public participation, which is a constitution or an element of the constitution, so that something is owned from the ground upwards. We do have progress. Countries do progress by whims, whereby people have and come and say, let's do this. We do houses. Let's eliminate Kibera. We eliminate Kibera. You do houses for Kibera and then nobody stays there. People will go and start another slum elsewhere. So we need to have public participation so that whatever product that comes out of this process is owned by the people. So I don't know why Oscar seems to be averse with that idea of people owning a process as opposed to a leader just coming up and saying, this is my project, it needs to agree. And I think CNN has highlighted, I would want to agree with him that some of these things seems to be very personalized. Very personalized in nature, that they have to go on by. But the court was very clear that we are not against this project. All we want is the framework. We have public participation so that the process is well grounded in law, so that nobody comes to oppose.
I think you're confusing me with the Mheshimiwa here.
All right. Just one. Allow me to turn the ball back to Mheshimiwa Mwalio. In regards to the same, and because of the interest of time, you can wrap it up, and then we can, in a nutshell, look at what the president said on New Year's message, because I'm quite sure that message will resonate with the country for the next 12 months. And some people did punch holes in what the president has talked about in terms of the economy growing. And I would like an overview of what yourself were some of the pick-up points in regards to the speech that is supposed to propel us into 2024. Mheshimiwa Mwalio.
Thank you. What I wanted to make clear is that there was public participation, and the housing projects were included in the finance bill, which we all voted yes, and it went through, and it was signed. All right? So this is not something that is not anchored in law. It is. So the thing is that the government is creating a lot of employment. You can see that we had thousands and thousands of young people that graduated in November and December. Where are we going to put them if we don't create such a kind of jobs like the affordable houses, where we are employing thousands and thousands of people? So this should go on as we continue just finding the way, as we negotiate, because everybody lives in this country, and you can see all our children are at home. They have decreased 1, 2, 3, and they have no employment. So if an opportunity comes for employment, why not grab that opportunity? Why do we have to stop it in the court? Why do we have one person going to court to stop all 2 people while disadvantaging the others who are benefiting?
All right.
So to me,
because of the interest of time,
to me, the government is on the right track, and we are going to see the fruits in this country, because young people are going to benefit.
Allow us, Mheshimiwa CNN, to wrap it on that, and also talk about, Azimio did come out strong to actually mention that indeed some of the things that they had in the president's speech did not sit well with them. In regards, mostly because of how the economy is, a number of Kenyans are quite struggling, and the head of state did say that the economy is on the right trajectory.
Yes, I agree with Honorable Mwalio that there was public participation, but this is an issue which was overwhelmingly rejected by all Kenyans. Actually, nobody supported finance bill, but it was forced by members of parliament from Kenya Kwanza side. It was voted.
Which side did you vote?
I voted no.
Okay.
And it is on the record, because I know this bill was oppressive to Kenyans. There was public participation. It was rejected by all the civil rights activists. It was rejected by everybody. But the members of parliament from KK agreed to go against Kenyans. I know everybody, it was in television everywhere. Everybody was against this issue. And that is why I'm saying public participation in this matter, it was useless. We never followed the will of majority. We never followed the will of Kenyans. And that is why I am saying dictatorship is back. Members of parliament from KK, they were whipped in State House and they were told, you either vote yes or you will not get any project. And that was on record.
Those sentiments, huh?
Yes.
We cannot be able to authenticate that. And because of the interest of time, I would like you to touch on the president's speech as we wrap up.
I will not even need to expound. I am speaking the reality. It happened.
Yes.
And we have to accept. No Kenyan supported this housing project scheme.
I'm quite sure, Mheshimiwa, as you were in that parliament and the vote was overwhelmingly yes.
Yes, you see, the 290 constituencies are represented by the 290 members of parliament. So whether you agree or you disagree, you are represented by your member of parliament. So whatever your member of parliament votes, that is what you carry.
All right.
Yes.
Let's have the final remarks and apologies.
That's what carries the day.
We have the PTA chair, Silas David, who have been caught up in the state of the nation. But there's something that you observed that the Edu Afia cover, which was covering our students, it's more or less is not working as we speak. So you can touch on that as we wrap up.
Thank you very much. I have about 2 or 3 issues I'm going to talk about. One is the Edu Afia scheme. Currently, the parents are very much worried that they're not sure whether the Edu Afia is not. They know that schools are opening. We have thousands and thousands of children who depend on this scheme. There's a rumor that the scheme is being removed or being changed. I kind of post that one. That could make the parliament or the government doing that. It's beyond my comment on that one.
Okay.
However, I would say that the scheme is very important, and in case of any changes, probably the government should come clear on this and tell the parents what will happen to their children. That's one about Edu Afia. Two, there's the issue of uniforms. You know, the government said that uniforms should be bought from the public. Recently, about 3 or 4 weeks. This was overdue for the parents because they've been demanding for that to happen.
Okay.
However, saying that they should be bought, like right now, schools are opening today. You will find that when this is given now to the person who going to buy from outside the uniforms, uniforms become like unga.
All right. Unfortunately, we just have a minute.
Yes,
quickly.
The uniforms are very scarcity, and they become very expensive for the parents.
All right.
When the principals don't want the children in schools without uniforms.
Thank you.
So one alternative statement on this one by the CS Minister of Education that maybe from 2025 January is when that can be effective, that uniforms should not be bought from schools. But for now, if parents can be free to do what they want.
All right. Mheshimiwa CNN, 30 seconds. Mheshimiwa Nguna, 30 seconds. Oscar, 30 seconds.
Let me begin by saying we are not opposed to housing projects or housing levy, but the manner in which it's done is absolutely wrong. We need to respect the rule of law. We need to respect judiciary. We need to respect executive. We need to respect parliament. Whatever the decision that comes out should abide by the constitution. That is why I'm saying we need to stop, we need to restart this project, but in a formal way. That with the directives from the court should be followed.
Okay. Mheshimiwa Mwalio.
I would like to urge the president to continue with the housing project because that is where our Kenyans are benefiting. For if Mama Mboga can afford a house and pay 4,000 and be at the end of the day to own that houses, that is a plus for this country, and we are creating jobs. So the president should continue.
All right.
Nothing should stop him.
All right, Oscar?
I think we should really try and institutionalize our systems. And when we institutionalize, modern democracy operates in institutionalized systems. If we go the personal rule, it might not work for all of us. We might only get deeper and deeper, and it might be chaos. And you've seen even in the exams being released, there's chaos, and now housing projects, there's no policy, there's no user involvement and inclusivity. I think when we have our institutions and put our things correctly, it will just work. We'll get houses if we do things in the right way.
All right, Wakili, 30 seconds.
Mine is just to echo what all of them have said. What CNN, Oscar, and Mwalio, Honorable, have said is that we can have both. you can actually have both of what they are saying. And that's what the court said, that we are not stopping this, we are giving you a time frame, you put it in order. So that it's very legal, so that the projects proceed. That is the easier thing to do. And I think anybody who is saying that some courts wants to stop the project is not reading the right ruling, needs to go back and get the right copy and read it, because the courts are not against. And then, of course, nobody's against the housing project. We want it to go, but to go on in a very proper manner, so that nobody will be able to cast doubt on it at any point.
All right. Just next to him, that has been Gibson Gisori, who is a constitutional lawyer. Just next to him, we have the PTA, that is Parent Teachers Association Chair Silas David. On the other side of the studio, we had Mheshimiwa CNN, that is Honorable Charles Nguna, who is the MP for Mwingi West. Just next to him, we have Oscar Omondi, who is a political analyst and also a lecturer. And just next to him on his left, we have Honorable Joshua Mwalio, who is the MP for Masinga, and he has clarified that he is indeed an independent MP, but allied to the government. Charles Nguna, CNN, allied to the Azimio coalition. Thank you so much for watching. It's time for Kuruzi. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Lucy Mwaura was our sign language interpreter when we started. I think we have Susan Thuku now, who is our sign language interpreter, to continue with the rest of the viewing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Habari njema kutoka redio yako pendwa ya Ingo FM kwa wakazi na mashabiki wa Bungoma. Sasa Ingo FM inasikika Ingo Bungoma kupitia masafa ya 103.5 FM. Sikiliza na uchangie, burudika ukifurahia uhondo wa kipekee kwa lugha ya nyumbani.
Awamu ya Baragawi CC, natural sweetness.
Kadhalika, tegea Ingo FM ukiwa maeneo ya Kakamega, Busia, Vihiga na Trans Nzoia kupitia 101.5 FM.
Iseni koli umwana wa kwendo mkhana wa imoni dala nombo nyara kunanga KK.
Ingo FM, ininginingi ye muitala.
你知道汪淼？
知道，一个纳米科学家。
你觉得有可能吗？
Are the measurements correct?
Yeah, no accuracy, misfit of data.
Please fax me the results.
到这里来，我将帮助你们获得这个世界。我的文明已无力解决自己的问题，需要你们的力量。时间的尽头。
You're not the girl I think you are. And they say I'm not the perfect man for you. 1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you. I'm sorry that you're sorry, but sorry's not good enough for me, baby. I'm sorry that you're sorry, but sorry can't dry my tears, lady. Lay your head to rest, baby. Let us put love to the test.